This is one of the things that I think Western civilization has contributed so brilliantly to the expansion of knowledge in the world, is what's the cure for the inadequacies of the group? One of the hypotheses they come up with is something like, well, you can bargain with it. And the thing is, you can. That's one of the things that's so cool. And partly the reason you can bargain with reality is because the reality that you encounter as you move forward in time is partly the world, but partly the abstract social system.
Power. Something so elusive, and yet so much of life is spent chasing after it. Power may be hard to quantify or explain, and yet we instantly can point it out when we see it, and we feel scared when we're without it. The great writer Alfred Lord Tennyson once said, "Self-reverence, self-knowledge, self-control. These three alone lead life to sovereign power." Indeed, there is a recipe for gaining power. If you're a man seeking to increase his self-worth and control over his own path in life, then these are steps you should know to gain power. So what is power? First off, the definition of what counts as power will inevitably vary from person to person and from setting to setting. However, it usually boils down to a mix of autonomy, control, and the ability to influence others. Factors such as wealth and social standing often come into play as they determine the extent to which you are free to make decisions of your own accord. When it comes to the hierarchy of socio-sexual dominance, factors such as wealth, looks, and the social circles you frequent will likely play a large role in determining how much social capital you hold over others. No matter the context, there are reliable and scientific steps that can be taken to tip the scales of power in your favor, such as: Number 1. Use the power of people's expectations to your advantage. Unsurprisingly, having power changes the way people think. In order to make those around you instantly perceive you as more powerful, you need to learn how having power affects the way people think. Studies have found that powerful people are far more self-assured than those who are totally without power, which makes sense. This, in turn, means they tend to be able to handle their failures, mistakes, and challenges with greater ease and confidence than those who feel powerless in their situations. This creates a cycle of confidence and power that you can harness to your advantage. The more confident in yourself you feel, the more you feel you both have and deserve power. And that feeling goes on to actually gain that power, which then leads you to only feel more confident and even more self-assured. It's a positive feedback loop that can be harnessed to go from a position of uncertainty to resolute power. And this works on both an internal and an external level. Internally, the cycle of positive feedback will strengthen your inner sense of self-assurance and leave you feeling better about yourself and more capable than ever before. On the other hand, this positive feedback loop can be used to positively affect your position of power in the eyes of those around you. Because powerful people think about the world with a greater sense of self-assurance, once people see this trait in you, they will automatically assume that you are powerful. Funnily enough, being treated as powerful ends up endowing power. So by harnessing the thought process of a powerful person, you can actually manifest power you didn't think you had to begin with. Number 2. Speak the language of power. The words we use have great influence over the way we experience the world and how the world experiences us. Studies suggest that using positive words improves people's cognitive responses and induces more positive emotions in people. In other words, you can use positive words to elicit agreement from other people. You can in fact shape the responses of people around you by knowing how to incorporate the language of power to get what you want. Using strong and positive framing when you speak makes people more likely to see you as correct and go along with what you say. In psychology, predisposing someone to agree with you by using positive language is known as the act of priming. Priming is an incredibly powerful tool in psychology and plays a large role in the science of persuasion. Successful lawyers, popular politicians, and convincing advertisements are all examples of how positive priming leads to influence. If you wish others to agree with you and see you as persuasive and reliable, make sure to delete negative and self-defeating terms from your vocabulary, such as "I can't," "I'm not able to," I'm afraid to, it's impossible to, or I'm bad at. And instead, focus on developing a more positive framing and watch as your power multiplies. Number 3, become someone that others rely on. If part of power means having influence over other people, you need to think of the ways that people gain influence over one another. How do you exert power over someone else? You hold power when other people need you more than you need them. This key dynamic lies at the heart of what good bargaining is all about. Having others need you more than you need them is what frees you to make decisions as independently as possible and to walk away from any offer that doesn't seem worth your while. In the game of power, you can think about each relationship and each interaction as a negotiation of sorts. If people need you, the price they are willing to pay only increases and increases. Plus, if you are truly needed by those around you, you have more leeway when it comes to making mistakes or facing challenges, as you can't simply be cast aside. Learn skills that make you a necessity to those around you, and learn to work yourself into positions that nobody else can fill. When the time comes and you want to try to get something that you want, the people around you will be left with little option but to capitulate and give you whatever it is you desire. Number 4. Own up to some flaws. At the end of the day, everyone and everything has flaws to account for. Trying with all your might to seem perfect and infallible is a fool's errand. So rather than trying to appear perfect, a better course of action is to be selective about the flaws you present to the world. Allowing people to see you as flawed will humanize you, but if these flaws do little to lower your influence over other people, they will only bolster your power. Most people view their flaws as something that weakens their power and lowers the respect others hold for them. But you can actually subvert this to work in your favor. By showcasing select flaws that don't deserve to lower your power or social influence, people will be impressed. They will be humbled by the fact that you are human, yet they will show deference to the fact that even your flaws can't hold you back. As paradoxical as it may sound, showing off flaws can actually make you appear stronger, so long as it's done right. Number 5. Remain as independent as possible. The more independence you preserve, the greater ability you have to make the key decisions over your own life. Wealth serves as the basis for financial independence. With financial independence under your belt, you have the power to make decisions over what you do and do not want to do, and you're not forced into situations due to financial pressures. Freedom like this can be found in all areas of life under similar principles of independence. Not being tied down to family or relationship commitments preserves your freedom elsewhere in life and gives you the power to make decisions for yourself based on what it is that you truly want. When others around you see the extent of your independence, they will also view you as more untouchable, endowing you with even greater respect and a sense of power. Now, before continuing, please take a quick second to hit the like button if you're enjoying the video so far. It literally takes just a second, but it makes a huge difference in helping me to grow the channel, and it allows me to keep making more content just like this for you guys. Thank you so much, I appreciate every single one of you. And now back with number 6. Keep your true intentions hidden. A good magician never reveals his tricks, so the saying goes. This applies to life in general. It's no secret that knowledge equates to power. And so if you want to increase your power, it goes without saying that you should be mindful of what information you keep to yourself and what you choose to share with the world. If you manage to keep your true motivations somewhat hidden, it will give you the upper hand in many scenarios. People will be less likely to guess your next move, and you will gain power through your unpredictability and therefore your ability to catch others off guard when you really need to. This is not to say that you should become unreliable. On the contrary, the best recipe for gaining power this way is to build the name for yourself as being strong and reliable, yet all the while remaining aloof. People will trust you and will need you, but they'll never be able to figure out your true intentions. If people don't know what it is you truly want, they'll never be able to use this information to exploit or manipulate you. Appear warm and approachable, because being liked is also a form of power. But be mindful not to become too open of a book. Otherwise, people might use this information to take advantage of you. The game of power is a precarious one and can only be mastered by those who truly know how to maximize their autonomy and influence over others. Using these scientific rules of human interaction, you can significantly raise the influence you are able to exert over others. Simply follow these steps and watch as your power in both your personal and professional lives rises. And that's it for today's Bloke Box video on the laws of power. Check out the rest of the channel for more advice on how to thrive as a man in society today.